So, I'm not good at selling myself. I'm not good about talking about myself in general. I'm very brief when people are asking me questions about my life, and that carries over to questions about my professional and hobby life. Um, because I'm just barely a college student, so I don't really have a professional life other than some freelance stuff. And yeah. Um, I'm not good about talking myself up. I'm not good about talking about myself in general. I err on the side of briefness. Not always the most good choice of words. See? Um, so like someone could ask me a question about my week and I would probably just say good unless there were a funny story that might make them laugh or something. And just like that, 2% of my years is just reduced to good, um, because I don't think most people care about other people's lives. Like, I usually don't care when I ask other people what they've been up to. I sometimes do, but not always. But that's a tangent. That was just to say I don't really like talking about myself in general, and I think that carries over to not wanting to talk about myself in a professional setting, not wanting to say how great I am because I don't really want to talk about myself at all. I'm not comfortable with it. Um, I'm also not a big fan of. So I'm kind of egotistical. I I'm a pretty big fan of myself, but I also am don't not a fan of myself. I'm pretty sure it's a normal dichotomy, kind of hating and thinking you're crappy, and then also thinking you're like the best. Um, and usually when I'm talking to people, the I hate myself, I'm crappy part comes out. Um, I don't know, maybe just conditioning the world, not wanting people to say their strengths. I had a conversation with someone online a couple days ago about they felt like they're a smart person and they didn't like have saying that they're smart. Like that sounds a little weird, but they didn't like communicating that they're smart. Like that difference between people who maybe don't work hard in academics. There we go. And people who do. That she just didn't like that distinction. She didn't like saying it because people interpret that as kind of being a pompous ass. And I think it's kind of a cultural norm to not be supposed to talk about yourself in positive light. I think that if you acknowledge one of your strengths, that's going to make people think about you a lot more negatively than if you acknowledge one of your flaws. Because everyone wants everyone else to be flawed, and on occasion, people want to be the one who makes someone feel better about their flaw because people want to be important. Um, but no one wants someone to say how they're great, especially if that's a place where you know you're lacking. It just rubs people the wrong way. And I think that's why, as a culture, um, at least the culture I'm familiar with, maybe not macro USA or full world, um, the culture is kind of leaning towards kind of like, yes, like false modesty, false humility, kind of. And I think that potentially is what makes people like me and Alex um, uncomfortable talking about ourselves in intense positive light. Because we don't want to. I can't speak for Alex. I think it's partly true for me. We don't want to come across as overly pretentious, I guess. Because we know our flaws. We know our flaws more than probably anyone else, and we know our strengths more than anyone else. But flaws kind of have a little bit more weight when you're evaluating yourself. Um, so I guess it does come down to the game. I guess I've never done it. And like Kevin was saying, you just gotta play the game and show that you're capable of selling yourself even when you have self-doubt. I like that. I'm gonna use that. Well, I'm gonna try to. And even though the game is crap, it's the cultural norm, and there's a low chance that's gonna change. Because you can't sell yourself by pointing out all of your weaknesses. At best, you could point out your weaknesses and strengths, but people don't hire you for your weaknesses, they hire you for your strengths. And you need to be able to communicate those well. And honestly, I think, I don't know how the job market works, but above all else, I would want, if I could choose how the culture were, I would want people to be able to say what they perceive as their actual strengths. And ideally, we can make it brutal enough where people could correct other people when they think they're great in something that they're actually crappy in. God, I'm tangenty. I don't know when the last time there's been a topic that I haven't gone, like, way off on the tangent. Like, crazy. I don't have any advice for you, Alex, because I've never done a resume other than for a school assignment. Online, though, I don't have a lot of trouble sharing my videos when I was making videos. Now, no problem at all, because no videos. But I don't know why I never had a problem with it. I have a lot more, is it gumption? I'm a lot more brave online. I really don't give a crap what people think, because if people have a problem, they can just leave. And that's true of real life as well, but the distance created by the internet makes me a little bit less attached to them. Like, I don't know, they hold less weight. I don't think if I spent more time comprehending the humanity of all the little icons on my screen, I would probably be more easily hurt, but they're just icons. And if I unfollow someone because they're spamming, that doesn't necessarily mean I don't like that person. That doesn't necessarily mean I think their content is bad. It just means that I want to see other things in my stream. My feed. I just never really had a lot of trouble with that. I regret how much I shared in the past. Like, I did it probably like more than I should have. I'm becoming increasingly minimalist in my sharing philosophy. It's probably more pretentious, though, than talking myself up, because when I'm minimalist, it's kind of because I, in my mind, think, I'm so good that it'll speak for itself, which, as Kevin said, is a really hard goal, and I'm nowhere near it. God. I tangented it a lot. Tangented it. I'm gonna go. Oh, so... no. Never mind.